is 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News at 5.
Now or never. Now or never.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the West Lawrence Raiders and Tailgate 13 for the very first time.
Something tells me this is going to be an atmosphere tonight. The Raider Brigade behind us here. They have been playing. I feel like I'm in Athens. Do you hear
Fired
this?
up. They are over 230 strong is what this band is. And I'll tell you what's an important part of this school, this band, and we're going to be chatting with the man who is in charge, Michael Dukes, a little bit later on. But, of course, they will be playing football here in a little over 2 hours, and it's a good matchup. Warner Robins comes in 4-0. They are a very impressive team. They are undefeated. West Lawrence comes in 2-2, but most importantly, they have won their last two matchups, including a very impressive win last week.
This is only the second time the schools have faced each other. I didn't know that until I read this right here. Last year was the other time. Warner Robins won 10-6, so West Lawrence would like to get some redemption on that one.
It was a defensive struggle. All right, players to watch. West Lawrence offensively, when they throw the ball, they're probably going to look in the direction of Tyrus Reed. He is the wide receiver. He had a big 54-yard reception against Dodge County in a game that West Lawrence narrowly lost to an unbeaten team. So they don't throw it a ton, but when they do, this is the man they're going to look to get it to. That is number 8.
All right, look on the Demon side of the ball. Julius Cobb, senior wide receiver, leads the team in touchdowns and receiving yards, only averaging 4 catches a game, but just seems to always come up big in the red zone. 3 straight games with touchdowns now. Julius Cobb, the senior wide receiver there for the Demons.
All right, it's the first day of fall. That means it should be 70 degrees, and there should be a nice breeze blowing.
I don't
Why
think
am I
so.
not feeling it?
Well, on the way here, when I was coming down 16, it just rained some in parts of Lawrence County, and I could look at the dash, and it was saying 77, 80 degrees.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is perfect. It'll be nice and cool down by the time we get there.
No.
Apparently, it hasn't rained here, though.
No, it
Here's
has
what's
not.
going on. It's a little on the warm side. Here's what's happening as we get into tonight. Great football weather as far as should be dry in most spots. There's a look over Dublin
the
right
DUB.
now. 79. It did rain around there. Feels like 81. We'll have a few storms around tonight, however. It's not going to be a perfect night. It'll be hot in places where the rain is not. So as far as fall getting here, not yet. 90 is where we are in Macon, Warner Robins. You can see Dublin at 79. That's rain-cooled air.
Yes.
It is not that where we're sitting. I think it's a lot warmer than that
No.
here. But it's tolerable. You can handle it. The heat index has been something of a fierce beast this week. We're looking at mid to upper 90s in spots. And Doppler Max HD shows the storms that were rolling through Lawrence County earlier. Trutland County has them now, and you can see Monroe County with more storms coming down too. So Pulaski County also in there. So we do have some to dodge in and out. But the good news is, as long as they're happening now, if we can get some of this out of the way early and kind of turn the atmosphere over, then maybe that bodes well for later. We'll show you the
because
models
we're 2 hours away from kickoff.
Right, so
that's
we can
good.
get the action over, then maybe we'll clear out.
All right, West Lawrence is known for their band. They're known for excellent athletic teams. They're also known for their mascot. Do you happen to know what the mascot is?
The horse?
Yes.
Susie the horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
We'll be
right,
talking
we're going to
about
talk
that in a
about that in a
little
little bit, but first let's head back to the studio for some news updates, and here's Lori Johnson.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Here are some of your headlines. The return of the Georgia High School State Basketball Championships has businesses and athletes excited for tip-off. They're expected to bring in some serious money. The Macon-Bibb County Convention and Visitors Bureau estimates the return will draw $3.2 million into local hotels, restaurants, and vendors. As for the players and coaches, they say the move makes them even hungrier to reach the finals.
I definitely use it as a goal, as a tool to motivate the guys. Tell them that it's a possibility of playing right in our backyard for a state championship. But the hardest part is getting to that state championship. So that's going to be definitely motivation for us to get back there.
Those title games will be held March 7th and 8th. Thousands of young immigrants around the U.S. will be affected by the Trump administration scrapping the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It gives temporary protection to undocumented migrants who arrived in the U.S. as children. And about 4,000 recipients here in Georgia need to renew. So a group is holding a free renewal clinic this weekend. Macon attorney Jennifer Moore and some Mercer University law students will host a clinic for the DACA beneficiaries whose current status expires between September 5th and March of next year. But the deadline for those recipients to renew quickly approaching October 5th.
though we're not licensed attorneys yet, we can help in looking at these forms and help people who want to do the right thing and get these forms filled out and meet that October 5th deadline.
As someone born in Puerto Rico, DACA doesn't apply to me directly. I can imagine, being someone in those shoes and being sent back to a country you no longer call home.
The free renewal clinic will be tomorrow and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 4 in the afternoon at the Mercer Law School on Georgia Avenue. Now, the application costs $495 plus postage fees. You can hear more from a Macon DACA recipient on the changes he'll soon face tonight on Eyewitness News at 6. And today, an East Macon church tore down a historic building in hopes of replacing it with a new area for the community. Mary Grace Shaw is at the building, and we join her now live.
Lori, many people might remember this building from when it was Macon's Cross Key Christian Academy. But as you can see from the construction back behind me here, the building won't be here much longer. True Faith Church of God in Christ says they want to turn the building into a park for East Macon. A church elder, R.L. Brown, says the school building has been an eyesore for several years and too run down to repair. Brown says he is excited to see the area improving after years of fundraising to tear the building down.
A lot of people told us that we couldn't do it and told us to leave and get out while we could, but we stood strong. We stood strong on our faith in God, and He answered our prayers and sent people near and far that we didn't even know that knew that we were here to help us out with the vision.
Brown says they were able to keep some memorabilia from the old school, like trophies and jerseys. In Macon, Mary Grace Shaw, 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News. Lori.
Thanks, Mary Grace. Brown says they plan to have a place at the church where people can see those items and learn about the school's history. A $50,000 grant will fund a development plan for downtown Macon's historic Capricorn recording studios. The grant comes from the John and James Knight Foundation. Mercer University is restoring and repurposing the building. In that plan, new features would include 13 rehearsal spaces, the restoration of analog and digital recording studios, offices and conference rooms, and a 2-story interpretive area that will tell the story of Capricorn's history. Still to come on Eyewitness News at 5, we're heading back out to Tailgate to learn more about that mascot they were talking about. Have you ever seen a raider on a horse? Well, tonight you will. We're going to talk to the middle schooler who's only half of the mascot duo. JP's Extra Points is next. Stay with us.
Now or never.
All right, let's go blue. They're playing behind us, and blue, of course, is the colors of the West Lawrence Raiders, which is where we are coming to you for Tailgate 13, a little over 2 hours away from kickoff against the Warner Robins Demons.
Yeah, we got a good breeze going right now.
Oh, very nice.
Let's see. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, wait, it's a horse.
What? Really?
A horse.
All right, that might be what visiting fans are saying tonight when they see the pregame ceremony, and West Lawrence mascot comes prancing across the field.
All right, Jonathan Perez introduces you to Susie. That's the horse here.
Oh.
And her 8th grade rider in this week's JP's Extra Points.
Go.
That's right, guys. I'm hanging out with Susie. As you can see, she's getting down to work, eating some grub. We're hanging out at her farm in Dexter, but in an hour and a half, we're going to be on a different type of field.
Here come those Raiders!
If horseshoes are considered lucky, then West Lawrence should have luck on its side. And every Friday, Colby Upshaw hopes to bring that luck into Horseshoe Stadium with Susie. But before the pair can prance across the field, they have to practice.
Usually, like a couple days a week, I'll just get on her and exercise her, make sure she's feeling good and everything.
It starts with laps around the arena to keep Susie in shape, something they've been doing together since he was 8 years old.
Colby is a typical teenager. He loves his video games, but he also enjoys riding horses. So he has found that balance, but he's done it all of his life, so it's not a chore for him.
And he is no stranger to the saddle. Competing in junior rodeos for years helped give him the edge to be this year's mascot, even as an 8th grader.
He had me run some of the drills like that we would do on the field, make sure that she was calm enough to hold the flag and the sword and things like that. Like, auditioned me pretty much, and he said that was good enough.
It's their first year under the stadium lights, and even though it's not his first time taking the reins, he still gets those pregame jitters.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but It's fun at the same time.
After all, it's not easy steering a horse through a crowded football field.
I've almost ran over one girl.
But almost only counts in horseshoes. While Colby is hoping to keep this gig until he graduates, he's also hoping he can turn playtime into a full-time career.
I go to UGA to be a vet because I just like working with animals and mainly working with horses.
Jonathan Perez, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness Sports.
Wow, yeah, I can remember all the times I tried to steer a horse through a crowded football field. It doesn't go well unless you know what you're doing. There they are, man. They're playing here. West Lawrence. We're live. We have a full look at weather. A few storms out there. We're after the break. Well, we are live at West Lawrence, where it's a little bit on the warm side. It has been hotter in some places. We got a little bit of a breeze now that some of these thunderstorms have been nearby, so it's kind of cooled things down a little bit, but we're sitting at 83 degrees. I'm going to tell you what, man, the Raider Brigade is something else. You guys look good. Listen, Mr. Dukes is over there. We don't need him right now, okay? I hear you guys have a thing called fungus. Frank has a fungus, too, but that's another story. Is this a song you play? All right, play Fungus while we do the weather. Ready? 3, 2, 1, hit it. Don't you love Fungus? They won't go when I tell them to go. Go, Fungus. You have to say it. This is like a thing you have to do your arms like this. I'm not a real band director, so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, that sounds like Fungus. I dig that. Let's show you what's going on with the weather, shall we? Let's pop up a graphic. We can show you Dublin is, well, again, we've had thunderstorms nearby. So it's cooled things down a little bit. It's brought things down into the 80s in some spots, and you can see there's 79 downtown in Dublin now. Feels like 81. Let's go ahead and find out what's happening on the forecast for tonight. A few storms around. So again, it's not going to be perfectly clear out there tonight. There will be the potential for a couple of thunderstorms, so you may want to take a raincoat just in case. And I'm hoping we can get these on out of here in time for kickoff so we don't have any lightning delays. You know how that goes. Strike of lightning and everybody's got to sit down for a while. We're looking at low 90s. Heat index has been warmer than that. We've seen that for days this week where it's been mid to upper 90s for how it feels. We've had some triple-digit heat index numbers. Doppler Max HD shows a few thunderstorms that have been rolling around, and they are getting started this afternoon, but this is good news for later if you're heading out to a football game, because the more we can get these storms in now, the more it can work the atmosphere over, bring some cloud cover in, kind of stabilize things by the time we get into kickoff, and maybe we'll go ahead and get it out of the way. Right now it is not good football weather in many spots, so gotta hope this is going to move on through. So that's the story. Scattered thunderstorms early, and we'll see if they can get on out of here. But you can see as you go over in Alabama, severe thunderstorm warning. We had those yesterday, so we're keeping an eye on that too. The high-res model for tonight shows that as we get on through later, it should quiet down. We'll just wait and see how long it's going to take for that to happen. Saturday looking good in the morning, but as we get into the afternoon, there could be a stray shower. I've got us in at a 10% chance as we go through Saturday afternoon. Not a big deal. Most of it looks like it may be South Georgia. And then as we get on into Sunday, dry weather just keeps on pushing in. And once it gets here, it's going to hold on as we get on into next week. So a long, dry stretch. Fall may be coming in, not exactly on the cool side, but it will come in pretty dry after we get through tonight and a little bit of tomorrow. And you can see in the long-range models all the way across. Yeah, so if you're waiting for the fall numbers, the temperatures to drop, not just yet. And as we mentioned, the hot stuff is out there, and you can see the numbers. So as we go through tomorrow and into Sunday, look for 80s, maybe 90 in a couple of spots, but it should start to cool down just a little bit. Let's go on over to the 7-day. And it'll warm back up more, though, as we go into next week. So we'll be looking at around 90 as we get into next week. Maybe even a 91 as we get on into the end of next week. So we're still waiting for fall to show up, even though, according to today, it's here. I'm glad to be here. West Lawrence Raiders. Man, I'm going to tell you what, this band sounds like a college band. They're amazing. We're coming back, and we're going to talk about all this, the band leader, after the break.
Welcome back. We are at West Lawrence High School. West Lawrence and Warner Robins. It's tailgate 13 And we're joined by a very special guest. You've been listening to the sounds of the Raider Brigade Band, over 200 strong. Well, Michael Dukes is the man in charge. He's been doing this now for 27 years.
That's right.
Here at West. Now, when you first came here, were you thinking 27 years? You were thinking a few years and then moving on.
Well, no, I really love this town. When I came in, I thought, well, let's see what we can do here. We fell in love with everybody in this community, started building the program, and it's taken off. We just love it.
How were you able to start to build the program and get it to where you've got a huge number of students involved?
Well, that's what teachers need to do. You learn to love the kids. Let them know that you really care about what you're doing. Get them on board. You start from the bottom. We have 5th grade band on up. I teach 5th grade through 12th grade all day long, over 700 kids a day. But when I first got there, it wasn't quite that many kids. So what we did was we started recruiting, and then over time, it started growing. And then all of a sudden, man, we just have a great family atmosphere, and we just have the Raider Brigade.
Oh, indeed. Now, you have over 1,000 students, and over 200 of them are in the band. That's an amazing ratio.
Boy, we are so blessed here, especially here at the high school. But, we have 300 at the middle school and 140 in the elementary level. So, we just start them and get them going.
Now, you do great performances at halftime. Usually there's themes, and tonight also you're doing a theme,
right,
correct?
Tonight, my heart is our community, and that's the thing I really love. I want to make sure that we give back to our community. So at pregame, we do a lot of pregame activities, very collegiate. And tonight we're bringing in our airback helicopter and bringing the game ball in, and we're also bringing in the game flag. And we've invited our sheriff and state patrol and chief of police, firemen, EMC, and our linemen, considering what they had to go through with Irma. And we're bringing them on the field, landing the copter on the track, and then we're all going to get together, and then we're going to have the game ball, and we're going to just say we love you and thank you for what you do for our community.
Oh, it's easy to see where the enthusiasm comes from because you are very enthusiastic. It's obvious you love what you do.
I love my job. I love these kids. I love this community. And, man, we just have a great time. And that's what we're all about. We're about football, but we're about school and team and spirit and the music incorporating together, because our school wouldn't be in existence if it wasn't for all of what we do in our community.
Michael Dukes, thank you so very much. Appreciate you having us here. What a
Thank
wonderful performance. The Raider Brigade, a whole lot more to come. Stay with us. Tailgate 13 continues right after this. We're live at West Lawrence High School. Welcome back. West Lawrence High School, a little over 2 hours away from kickoff between the Demons of Warner Robins and the Raiders of West Lawrence. We appreciate all the fine folks here in Lawrence County for welcoming us.
What an atmosphere.
It is. Of course, this is a big ball game. You'll be here for this with all the pregame festivities. Don't forget to shoot the game, too, okay?
I'll try to do that if I get a chance.
Thank you very much. All right, not the only game, of course, our FFN team will be keeping its eyes on tonight. There are some other interesting matchups. Southwest and Dodge County. I'll be heading to Eastman to cover that one. And also tonight, you've got Macon County and Taylor County, two very strong teams. John Milledge home against Briarwood. Northeast plays at Bleckley County. You got Peach at Westside, Eagles Landing at Jones County, Evans at Baldwin, and Kendrick at Central.
All right, Dublin at East Lawrence there. Veterans at Perry also on there. Now the Jones Zone picks. We've had those up. As far as the standings are concerned, somebody's up front.
You are in first place. That's very impressive.
Yeah, 11-7. There's a look at the games tonight. Warner Robins just so strong. Everybody's stacked in on that one right there. I'm going to try to interview the horse for West Lawrence.
Oh, okay. And find out maybe some inspiration from that.
Yeah, see why the long face about nobody.
Oh, very good. Good thinking. All right, so that's the way the Jones Zone shapes up. The weather right now is okay. Ben said there are some storms out there, so I guess we'll need to check that out shortly. And we'll also come back and with This Is Home.
Yep, we'll do that. A radar look next.
Welcome back, Raider Brigade taking us out, but there are some storms out there, Ben, that we need to talk about.
Yeah, a couple of them out there. No severe weather right now, but some few strong storms are rolling toward the southwest just like yesterday. If we can get this on through here, we'll be okay by game time, but we still got a ways to go. So we'll cover more of this at 6 right now. Look back at the week that this was. The week that was.
This is home. Take it away.
Straight from the heart.
Yeah, it's going down. We about to live it up, y'all. Let's go.
It's a big world. And now we're loving this town, it's our turn. So put your hands up, we on the big screen. And everybody's here living out our dreams. Dreams, whoa. Yeah, yeah. Don't be scared, take a chance. Come on, give me a hand. It's time to laugh, time to smile. Now let's get up and dance. This right here gonna make you jump, jump.